Caitlin Clark drew the third most watched WNBA game ever.
Caitlin Clark came back, guys, turned in simple. She's the face of the league. She's been the face of the league, bro. She's been this.
There are millions of people that never cared about the WNBA at all.
She is the face of the league, not a surprise. And them 2.2, 2.8 were treated to a master class by Caitlin. That is a fact.
If it was Caitlin Clark versus Angel Reese Game 7 of the finals, I don't think you could pull in 21 million viewers.
Caitlin Clark put up what was one of the most insane stat lines you'll ever see. 32, 8, 9, and 2, the 2 for blocked shots.
After missing the last 3 weeks, Caitlin Clark finally returned yesterday to save the WNBA.
Just 2 minutes ago, history was made. Caitlin Clark didn't just return to the court, she dominated it. And while she dropped 32 points on the New York Liberty, something even bigger happened off the court. Over 3 million viewers tuned in. That's not just impressive, it's insane. We're talking about one of the most watched WNBA games in history, and the message is loud and clear. Whenever Caitlin Clark plays, the world watches. She's not just a rookie anymore. She's the face of the league, the needle mover, the main event.
Caitlin Clark drew the third most watched WNBA game ever on ABC, averaging 2.2 million viewers, peaking at 2.8 million viewers, up 76% versus last year's WNBA on ABC regular season average, up 76%.
She took over the spotlight, and the world was watching. With a jaw-dropping 3 million viewers locked in, her latest performance shattered records and silenced every doubter in the league. From missed games to a masterclass comeback, Caitlin Clark just proved why she's not just a player. She's a movement. And if you thought her hype was dying down, think again.
Caitlin Clark came back, guys, turned in simple. She's the face of the league. She's been the face of the league, bro. She's been this. This is the Caitlin Clark effect, bro.
This wasn't just basketball, it was a masterclass. And while the undefeated New York Liberty walked in confident, they walked out stunned. The crowd, the cameras, even the critics, all eyes were locked on Caitlin. But that's not even the craziest part. From surprise ratings to unexpected backlash aimed at LeBron James, what just happened has everyone talking.
Caitlin Clark return against the New York Liberty, the undefeated New York Liberty that aren't so undefeated anymore, I'd say. After Caitlin Clark put up what was one of the most insane stat lines you'll ever see. 32, 8, 9, and 2, the 2 for blocked shots. I am a little surprised that it did not get up to 3 million, but I think that's something that we're closing in on now.
Caitlin Clark came back, and it didn't take long to feel the impact. In just 38 seconds, she drained a 33-footer, a 31-footer, and a 27-footer. That's way beyond the WNBA's 22-foot arc. It didn't even feel real. It felt like watching history, like Kobe's 81-point game or Jordan switching hands midair. You sit there thinking, what in the world am I watching? She was calling for the ball, completely locked in, and delivering shots that looked like they came from half court. There was flash, there was power, and there was that rare moment where you just know you're watching something legendary unfold live.
That's the greatest 38 seconds in WNBA history. A mesmerizing 38 seconds, a 33-footer, a 31-footer, a 27-footer. The WNBA three-point arc is 22 feet. It felt like you were watching history, and I'm not overstating it. Kobe's 81-point game, Michael Jordan switching hands, Reggie Jackson with 3 home runs on 3 pitches in the 1977 World Series against the Dodgers. It felt like I was watching history. Yeah, I know LeBron's block was the NBA Finals, but it's interesting that you don't realize how much you miss people until they're gone. So Caitlin Clark had played high school every week and college every game and the WNBA every game, and then she misses 5 games.
What just happened was absolutely insane. Caitlin Clark didn't just play basketball, she made history. The numbers are in, and they're staggering. Over 3 million people tuned in to witness her game, and the energy around it? Off the charts. If you thought the Caitlin Clark effect was just hype, Think again.
Clark came back, guys. Tuned in. Simple. She is the face of the league. Face of the league. Not a surprise. And them 2.2, 2.8 were treated to a master class by Caitlyn. That is a fact. You ever going to come out with Aces versus Valkyrie number that was on ABC on June 7th? I would like to see that too.
I can't believe I'm about to say this, but Caitlin Clark just made history, and it was absolutely insane. Over 3 million people tuned in. Yes, 3 million for a WNBA game, and it wasn't just any game. It was a statement, a firestorm, a reminder that when Caitlin Clark steps on the court, everything changes. Whether you love the WNBA or think it's pretend basketball, there's no denying what happened yesterday was a moment, a real one, and it's got everyone talking.
After missing the last 3 weeks, Caitlin Clark finally returned yesterday to save the WNBA, and the Great White Hope did not disappoint. I think she had 14 points in the first quarter, 25 points in the first half. For Angel Reese, those are career numbers. I don't know if Angel Reese has scored 25 points the entire season.
Caitlin Clark's return couldn't have come at a better time. The WNBA was slipping out of sight. Viewership had dropped by 50% when she wasn't on the floor, but the moment she stepped back in, everything changed. Her game against the New York Liberty was nothing short of electric. She racked up 32 points, including a jaw-dropping 25 points in the first half alone. At one point, she scored 9 points in just 38 seconds, a burst that had fans on their feet and viewers glued to their screens.
WNBA viewership falling by 50% with no Caitlin Clark, the WNBA out of sight, out of mind, and yet her return could not have come at a better time. Caitlin Clark's epic return game against the New York Liberty, dropping 32 points, 25 points in the first half, 9 points in 38 seconds. Caitlin Clark drew the third most watched WNBA game ever.
When you're used to being in the middle of the action, you miss the bigger picture. But watching from the bench gave Caitlin something new. She saw plays unfold, read the floor differently, and studied her team like a strategist. And when she returned against the New York Liberty, that insight turned into dominance. She didn't just play, she commanded the game.
The best thing that happened for Caitlin Clark was her actually missing those games, sitting down, watching the game from a coach's perspective. Yes, she's never seen the game at a high level from a coach's perspective. Now, you give Caitlin Clark an inch, she's going to run 20 miles on you, bro, because that is exactly what happened with the New York Liberty, bro. Do not be surprised if Caitlin Clark have another shattering performance again, bro. I'm telling you.
Caitlin Clark walked into the game against the undefeated New York Liberty and completely rewrote the script. With a performance that left fans and analysts speechless, she dropped one of the most electrifying stat lines we've ever seen. 328 points, 9 assists, and 2 blocks. And yes, those 2 blocks weren't just lucky swipes. Caitlin sent a message that she can dominate both ends of the court. But the real showstopper? A 9.38-second scoring barrage that sports analyst Colin Cowherd didn't hesitate to label as historic. He's not wrong. It was pure Reggie Miller-level clutch, fast, fearless, and fiery. Anyone who remembers Reggie's iconic NBA moments would agree. This was right up there.
Caitlin Clark put up what was one of the most insane stat lines you'll ever see. 32, 8, 9, and 2. The 2 for block shots. Caitlin Clark can block some shots on people. She can block some shots. So, we got the ratings in. I'm not going to lie to you. You guys heard me say it right after the 9.38-second barrage that Colin Cowherd is now labeled as historic. He's not wrong. It was one of the greatest things. It was that Reggie Miller-like, if anybody remembers all those points he threw in.
The viewership numbers for the Indiana Fever versus New York Liberty game were nothing short of historic. According to ESPN, the matchup delivered an average of 2.2 million viewers, with a peak reaching 2.8 million, making it the third most watched WNBA game on ABC ever. That's not just big, that's game-changing. Compared to last season, WNBA viewership on ESPN is up 14%, and this particular broadcast saw a jaw-dropping 76% increase over the previous year's regular season average on ABC. These numbers prove one thing: people are watching and they can't take their eyes off Caitlin Clark.
As reported by ESPN, the Indiana Fever's victory over the New York Liberty on Saturday delivered the third most watched WNBA game on ABC ever. Ooh, I already knew it was going to be massive, man. I knew it was going to be crazy. 2.2 million average viewers. It peaked at 2.8. Oh my goodness, man. WNBA on ESPN up 14% from last season. What a game, man. And I'm pretty sure those raining threes started raining people inside of watching it. So, yeah. And I remember seeing the live stream, man. The chat, especially on TikTok, it started going up crazy. Right around that time, she was hitting those back-to-back threes. So, I'm pretty sure word got out and everybody was like, hey, I'm about to tune in. ESPN's third most watched WNBA game ever on ABC, 2.2 million. That is crazy, man. A 76% increase versus last year's WNBA on ABC regular season average.
Late in the first quarter, Caitlin went nuclear, dropping 3 straight threes in under a minute. Boom, boom, boom. It was the kind of performance that makes you stop and watch. You could feel the momentum shift. The crowd was locked in. The energy was electric. And it wasn't just the scoring, it was the feel. That's what sports is all about. When Caitlin Clark is on the court, it feels like a big deal, like something that actually matters.
Late in the first quarter, Caitlin Clark on fire. Scored 9 points on 3 consecutive threes in less than a minute. Watch it for yourself.
2 players with incredible Clark, another long 3. She's back.
You know, sports, especially when we're talking about television, sports is all about feel. One of the biggest complaints right now with the NBA Finals, it doesn't feel like the NBA Finals. Mainly because ESPN refuses to treat the broadcast like it's the NBA Finals. Doris Burke is asking Mike Breen to pull her finger for a toxic surprise. Stephen A. Smith is playing cards on his phone with his favorite OnlyFans model, which my inside sources tell me is Shannon Sharp. Hey, it's me, Shay Shay!
She made history. From the bench to the floor, fans can't stop talking about what just happened. Viewership through the roof, leadership on full display. This footage is making waves, and if you haven't seen it yet, get ready because Caitlin Clark just broke the game wide open.
Caitlin, I mean, we saw what she did. We saw what she did last night. It went ridiculous. Not only that, telling people what's going on the floor, being a floor general on the bench. I think she now sees the game even more to the point where she can pull the team to the side and actually tell them what she's seeing and get it out thoroughly, get it clear across everybody. That is tough to do, man. That is tough to do.
Caitlin Clark isn't just putting up numbers on the scoreboard. She's rewriting the rulebook on WNBA viewership. Before her, a game crossing 1 million viewers was considered a big win. Now, if she's on ABC, CBS, or ESPN, 2 million is the new baseline. That's the expectation. That's the Caitlin Clark effect. Let's break it down. When the Indiana Fever faced the Chicago Sky on opening weekend, with Caitlin Clark in the spotlight, the game drew 2.7 million viewers, peaking at 3.1 million. Another showdown, this time against the New York Liberty, delivered again with 2.2 million average viewers. These aren't one-time spikes, they're becoming a pattern.
Opening weekend, I should say, Chicago Sky versus the Indiana Fever, that did 2.7 million with a peak of 3.1 viewers. That's a Caitlin Clark game. And then last year, Fever versus the Storm, 2.2 million viewers at the time. That was the most viewed WNBA game on ABC ever. And she eclipsed that this year when she went up against the Sky, and she equaled that this year when she went up against the New York Liberty. As the WNBA would say, all eyes on the W.
And the Caitlin Clark effect doesn't stop there. WNBA coverage on ESPN is up 14% from last year, and games aired on ABC are up a staggering 76%. That's not coincidence. That's Caitlin Clark turning the WNBA into must-watch TV. She's not just pulling in casual fans, she's shifting the culture, drawing in millions with every move. People tuned in not just to watch a game, but to witness a moment. And with every performance, she's proving why she's not just a rookie, she's the reason people are watching. This isn't hype. This is history in real time.
They say WNBA on ESPN is up 14% from last year, bro. Yeah, guys, this is crazy. 76% versus the last year's WNBA on ABC regular season games. The 2025 WNBA coverage across ESPN is up 14%, bro. We can't make this up. Bro. This is the truth. And I'm telling you right now, Caitlin Clark is going to continue being the truth, dog.
This matchup is now officially the third most watched WNBA game on ABC ever. And if you're wondering about the other two, most likely also starring Caitlin Clark. That's the kind of draw she's become. Still, some were surprised. Even the commentators admitted they thought this game could hit the elusive 3 million average mark. Some were even predicting 5 million. It didn't quite get there, but it's clear Caitlin Clark is inching closer to a new normal for women's basketball viewership. At this rate, every time she plays on a major network like ABC, ESPN, or CBS, it's practically guaranteed to cross the 2 million mark. And if the buzz continues, especially with rivalries heating up, that 3 million milestone might be shattered very soon.
It was still the third most watched WNBA game on ABC ever. In the history of everything on ABC for WNBA, this was the third biggest rating ever. I'm sure the other two are also Caitlin Clark. Thought it'd be 5+ million. I didn't think it'd be that high, but I am a little surprised that it did not get up to 3 million. But I think that's something that we're closing in on now. If she has a game on ESPN, CBS, ABC, you get the point. An actual bigger network, it's gonna be a 2 million plus game.
Caitlin Clark isn't just playing the game, she's redefining it. As the threes started raining in, so did the viewers. TikTok chats blew up in real time, and word spread fast. Clark was on fire. People tuned in by the millions, drawn in by her back-to-back threes, behind-the-back passes, and undeniable presence on the court. This wasn't just a good performance, it was a masterclass. Fans knew what was coming, and she still managed to blow expectations out of the water. Clark is the needle, the energy, and without question, the face of the league. Her return wasn't just highly anticipated, it delivered in every way.
I'm pretty sure those raining threes started raining people inside of watching it. So, yeah, and I remember seeing the live stream, man. The chat, especially on TikTok, it started going up crazy. Right around that time, she was hitting those back-to-back threes. So I'm pretty sure word got out and everybody was like, hey, I'm about to tune in. ESPN's third most watched WNBA game ever on ABC, 2.2 million. That is crazy, man. A 76% increase versus last year's WNBA on ABC regular season average.
The real rivalry is clear. It's the New York Equality versus the Indiana Felines. This matchup doesn't need media hype. The script writes itself. The Equality are the defending champions, the veteran squad. The Felines are the rising force. They've got something the league has been missing: real competition, real talent, and women who actually look like women. More importantly, they've got Caitlin Clark and Sabrina Ionescu. Clark is a star of stars on a level all her own. There's not another player in the league who can even touch a fraction of her drawing power. This is the rivalry the WNBA should be building on. Not the fake drama, Not the forced headlines, but what's actually happening on the court.
The real rivalry in the WNBA, it should be the New York Equality and the Indiana Felines. The script literally writes itself. The Equality are the veteran team. They're the defending champions. The Felines are the next generation looking to make a name for themselves. Both teams have star players. Obviously, Caitlin Clark is the star of stars. She is on a level all by herself. There's not a player in the league that's capable of reaching a tenth of her drawing power. The Equality, they've got Sabrina Ionescu. Well, KC, she's not a star. Most people have never heard of her before. Yeah.
3 million viewers, a 32-point performance, and a spotlight that refuses to dim. Caitlin Clark isn't just making history, she's changing it. From breaking records to igniting national interest, her presence is turning regular season games into primetime spectacles. Caitlin Clark didn't just play a game, she made history, with nearly 3 million people watching her redefine what's possible in the WNBA. From shattering records to shifting the entire league's momentum, this is only the beginning of the Caitlin Clark era. Nearly 3 million viewers, a highlight reel performance, and a ripple effect that even reached LeBron James. Love her or hate her, one thing's clear. Caitlin isn't just playing the game, she's changing it. Caitlin Clark just made history, and the world was watching. Over 3 million viewers, a performance for the ages, and a moment the WNBA won't forget. The numbers don't lie, this is the Clark era. What did you think of the viewership? More than you expected?
And I'm telling you right now, Caitlin Clark is going to continue being the truth, dog. She's just going to continue being the truth, continuing shattering records, and continue putting the beats on teams.
Wait until you see a Caitlin Clark game at 7:30 p.m. on ABC, 8 o'clock p.m. on CBS. I think that's going to get us our 3 million average. I think something we haven't seen before is going to get us our 3 million average. Caitlin Clark in primetime, Caitlin Clark in the playoffs, regardless who. As long as it's on ABC or CBS, that's going to get us our 3 million.
Caitlin Clark had played high school every week and college every game and the WNBA every game, and then she misses 5 games. And the ratings plummet, 55%, league-wide. Like, it's like Saturday Night Live when they don't have a big star on. Maybe I'll catch a clip, not the show. She comes back.
LeBron James celebrated Caitlin Clark's monumental game the other day, and Angel Reese fans are none too happy about it.
It did peak at 2.8, so that's crazy. that is crazy work. 2.2 million. It's not bad at all, man. That's still crazy. Salute.
Caitlin Clark returns. All of a sudden, the WNBA is the topic of national conversation.
Caitlin Clark came back, and suddenly the WNBA was the center of national conversation again. 3 million viewers didn't tune in for drama. They tuned in for her, for the basketball, for that feeling that something important was happening. So now the question is, can the league keep that momentum going without the noise? Can the game carry the WNBA? You tell me. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Make sure to like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.